All right, Chad, we got the worst truth or dare deaths ever. Imagine you're playing a harmless game of truth or dare, bro. And then everybody's picking truth and you're like, bro, you guys are boring. I'm gonna pick dare. And then somebody just say the most diabolical shit and you go with it, bro. Are you kidding me? It's like you asked for it. But I don't know, maybe these are, yeah, see, these are incidents. I see a lot of incidents here. Maybe they weren't supposed to, you know, happen and they did. But we're gonna check it out though. RP to these people already, man.
Jump if you dare. On May 24th, 2023, just days after graduating high school, 18-year-old Cameron Robbins from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was celebrating with several hundred classmates on a trip to the Bahamas. They were staying at the
y'all got it like that? Oh, what? Nah, what be going on in Louisiana, bro? They send y'all to the Bahamas, bro. You know what happened for our graduation trip? They made something, I think, at the school or something after prom, but we didn't get no crazy class trip. What?
They were staying at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort in Nassau. That evening, the group attended a sunset party cruise aboard Blackbeard's Revenge, a pirate-themed party boat. Around 9:40 p.m., near the uninhabited Athol Island northeast of Nassau, someone dared Cameron to jump off the boat into the dark ocean. Several students tried to grab him and stop him. They reached for him, attempting to hold him back, but Cameron broke free from their grip. He jumped into the water. Footage captured the aftermath. Cameron could be seen swimming in the dark waters. Friends threw a life preserver toward him. People screamed, "Grab the buoy! Hey, the buoy!" They were trying desperately to direct him to the flotation device, but Cameron appeared to swim away from it. Within seconds, he vanished from view. The boat remained anchored for hours as students searched frantically. The U.S. Coast Guard, Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and United Cajun Navy searched the waters until about 3 a.m. Royal Bahamas Defense Force Commodore Raymond King called the area really shark-infested. He said, "The probability of survival decreases significantly, particularly if a person did not have on a life vest, and particularly if a person is perceived to be intoxicated." The search covered 325 miles over 2 days. On May 27th, authorities called off the search. Cameron Robbins was officially designated lost at sea. His body was never recovered. A memorial service was held at Broadmoor United Methodist Church in Baton Rouge. Cameron was described by his baseball coach as a fierce competitor and by his family as funny and kind-hearted.
Bro, he asked for that.
My darkest secret.
Chad, he asked for that. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, he might have dared you, but he probably dared you with the intent of, like, knowing that you weren't gonna do it. It might have just been like a joke type of dare. So it's not even on him. Y'all could blame him for daring it, but it's not. It's the fact that this guy actually jumped. Why would you actually jump, bro? People were holding you back and everything. Like, he asked for it. That's stupid, bro. R.I.P.,
My darkest
but you're
secret.
stupid.
On May 28th, 2018, in the early hours of the morning, a neighbor looked out her window in Heysham, Lancashire, and saw flames at 94-year-old Mary Gregory's bungalow. Firefighters rushed to the scene and found Mrs. Gregory unconscious in the conservatory, suffering from smoke inhalation. She was treated by paramedics and rushed to Royal Lancaster Hospital, but died 4 days later. An investigation by Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service concluded the most probable cause was a dropped or carelessly discarded cigarette. Mrs. Gregory was a heavy smoker with dementia. The coroner recorded a verdict of accidental death. The case
that's actually a thing, chat. A misthrown or misplaced or whatever cigarette, bro. I thought that only happens in movies.
The coroner recorded a verdict of accidental death. The case was closed.
What the hell did it burn?
Then, weeks after the funeral, during a game of truth or dare with two friends, 17-year-old Tiernan Darnton revealed his darkest secret. He told them, "I have a secret I haven't told anyone. I may have killed someone." His friends didn't believe him. He persuaded them to keep quiet. But in May 2019, during a counseling session, Darnton mentioned a friend who could send me to prison cause of what he knows. He added that he had felt powerful at Mrs. Gregory's funeral because he knew what had happened, and everyone else in the room didn't. The counselor ended the session by saying, "I think you're trying to tell me you've killed someone." Darnton mouthed, "Yes." Police reopened the case. They discovered drawings of Mrs. Gregory's floor plan with labels like "good hiding place" and "quick exit." Evidence showed he had set the curtains on fire with a lighter, unplugged the phone, disabled a smoke alarm, and placed a table in front of the conservatory doors.
No, this guy's a menace. No, this guy's a menace. This guy is an actual menace. Wait, how is this truth or dare? Somebody dared him to do that and he thought of something this elaborate? Why would he even do that though? This guy's a killer. You gotta, bro, you gotta pack him up.
Doors to block her escape. Investigators found disturbing searches under 18 murder and How long do murderers serve in prison? In November 2021.
How was that a
Darnton
truth or dare? Oh, yeah, because he confessed, right? Yeah, he confessed his darkest secret. Oh my God.
2021. Darnton was convicted of murder and sentenced to life with a minimum of 15 years. The bridge incident.
Idiots.
On a summer day in 2024, two teenagers,
This just
ages
happened.
15 and 16, were part of a group chat where dares were being shared among friends. The conversation turned to jumping off a bridge into Lake Hartwell, South Carolina. The pressure mounted through messages. Other teens egged them on. The two decided to go through with it. They drove to the bridge and climbed onto the railing.
Whoa.
The drop to the water below was significant.
Yeah.
Without hesitation, both teens jumped. They plunged into Lake Hartwell. Friends watching from the shore expected to see them surface. Seconds passed, then minutes. Neither came back up. Emergency services...
Bro. Chat, you don't just jump off of bridges, bro. That drop, I was gonna ask, I wonder like how big that drop is. If it's a significant drop, bro, you are most likely not gonna make it back.
Friends watching from the shore expected to see them surface. Seconds passed, then minutes. Neither came back up. Emergency services were called immediately. Dive teams searched the lake. Eventually, both bodies were recovered. Neither teen had made it back to shore. The local community was devastated. Candlelight vigils were held. Parents gathered, holding candles and photographs of the two teenagers. Flowers and messages were left at the bridge. In the days that followed, parents across the community warned about peer pressure games spreading through social media. The group chat that had contained the dare was examined by authorities. Friends who had participated in encouraging the jump were left traumatized. Counselors were brought into local schools. The deaths sparked conversations about the deadly consequences of online dares. The bridge where the teenagers jumped became a memorial site. Parents begged other teenagers to think before accepting dangerous dares, no matter how much pressure they felt from their peers. The community mourned 2 young lives lost to a moment of reckless decision-making. The boiling...
And chat, unfortunately, peer pressure is a real thing. Now, the obvious thing here to say is why would you jump off? Like, just because somebody tells you to do something, don't do it. Or even if they do it or say it to you, you know, you could say no. Like, you don't have to fall for that. But like I said, unfortunately, I guess they really did feel pressured, or maybe it's the act of thinking like, oh, if we do this, maybe we're cool enough, or nobody else wants to do it, so we will, or you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this shit don't make you cool. This is like, bro, just no, bro, no. I'm not jumping off a bridge, bro.
Boiling water incident. On March 22nd, 2017, in Florida, 8-year-old Kihari Pope was at a sleepover with her cousin and friends. The children decided to play Truth or Dare. The game started innocently enough. Then, someone dared Kiari to drink boiling water through a straw. The other children thought it would be funny to see if she would actually do it.
Yo, how did these little girls think about this, bro? Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. All right, Pete, but how they think to say that? You should drink boiling water. Like, what?
Kihari accepted the dare. She put the straw to her lips and drank the scalding liquid. Immediately, she began screaming in agony. The boiling water burned her mouth, throat, and lungs. She collapsed. The adults rushed her to the hospital. Doctors discovered she had suffered severe internal burns to her throat and respiratory system. Kihari was placed in intensive care. She underwent multiple surgeries. For months, she lived with severe complications from the burns. Her airway was damaged. She struggled to breathe. The internal injuries were catastrophic. Despite the medical team's efforts, Kihari's condition continued to deteriorate. The damage to her throat and lungs was too extensive. Eventually, 4 months later, she died from the injuries sustained from drinking the boiling water. The case shocked the nation.
Yo, and I'm wondering, like, was it an initial burn? Like, she sipped on it, and as soon as it hit her mouth, she was like, oh my God. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, was it a sip, or did she actually keep on like chugging it, like keep sucking it through the straw? Like, how long did that go about?
Parents were horrified that such a simple dare could result in death. Warning messages spread across social media about the deadly risks of dares among children. Kihari's family spoke out, hoping to prevent other children from accepting dangerous dares. Her death became a cautionary tale in schools across the country. The children who had dared her to drink the boiling water were left traumatized by what had happened. Kihari Pope was just 8 years old. The slug incident. On a warm evening in 2010, 19-year-old Sam Ballard was at a party in Sydney, Australia, with his rugby teammates. They were drinking wine in a backyard.
Bro, slug, right? And y'all already know Australia, they have the... Bro, every animal exists over there. Every animal, every insect, every form of spider, every form of anything, just it's just there. Literally, Australia is creative mode for animals, bro.
The conversation was
What
lighthearted.
is he doing?
Then someone spotted a garden slug crawling across the patio. As a joke, one of Sam's friends dared him to swallow it.
Oh my-
Everyone laughed. It seemed like harmless fun. Sam picked up the slug and swallowed it whole.
What?
Everyone cheered. The party continued. Sam went home that night thinking nothing of it. Days passed.
That shit is
Then
inside
Sam
of you.
began feeling strange. He developed severe pain in his legs.
Oh.
Within weeks, he could barely walk.
Oh.
He went to the hospital. Doctors discovered the slug had carried rat lungworm parasites. The parasites had infected Sam's brain, causing a severe infection called eosinophilic meningoencephalitis. Sam fell into a coma for 420 days.
What? Bro, are you kidding me? Oh my God, man. I wonder how common that is for the slug to carry that parasite. Cause, well, first of all, putting the slug in your body is crazy. But let's say you take the slug, what are the chances that is carrying a parasite? And imagine it's a low amount. Like that's crazy.
When he finally woke up, he was paralyzed from the neck down.
Oh
The
my-
infection had left him a quadriplegic. He couldn't walk, couldn't feed himself, couldn't breathe without assistance.
Oh.
For 8 years, Sam lived with severe disabilities,
Oh.
requiring around-the-clock care.
Yo, look at the difference between him here and then him here.
On a warm evening in 2010, 19-year-old
Look at him here, bro. Wow.
In 2018, 8 years after swallowing the slug,
Ugh.
Sam Ballard died from complications related to the infection.
Oh.
He was 28 years old. His death highlighted the hidden dangers that can lurk in seemingly innocent dares. Sam's friends carried the weight of what had happened for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
The fireworks
Bro,
incident.
especially like seeing him, like every time you go over his house just to check up on him, you always have that thought on your mind, like, oh, damn, like we did this, bro. Like, and we didn't even mean to. Like, it was a joke, and bro actually did it. You know what I'm saying? That's
On
just
October
stupid.
24th, 2024, during Diwali celebrations in Bengaluru, India, a group of friends gathered to celebrate the Festival of Lights. Fireworks were everywhere. The night air was filled with explosions and colorful displays. The men had been drinking, and the atmosphere was festive
Wait,
and reckless.
Diwali?
Someone brought out a
Wait, that just happened. It's October. Didn't they do the poop thing? The poop festival? That's what they be doing over there.
The men had been drinking, and the atmosphere was festive and reckless. Someone brought out a large box of fireworks and suggested a dare. They challenged a 32-year-old man in the group to sit on top of the box while they lit the
Oh.
fuses. Friends laughed and egged him on. The man, emboldened by alcohol and peer pressure, agreed. He climbed onto the box and sat down. His friends lit the fireworks.
See, this is dumb. This is, yo, you're 32 years of age. You're getting peer pressured at 32 years of age, bro. Just say no. Like, why? Bro, I don't care. Make all the fun you want. Call me whatever you gotta call me, bro. I am not sitting on a box of explosives. I think people usually forget that. Fireworks are not just, wow, lights, wow, woo. No, bro, it's not that. You do realize they are explosives. Those are, see how it has that little triangle on it? Warning, bro. Like, hello?
down.
It's a
His friends
hazard.
lit the fireworks. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the entire box exploded beneath him.
Oh
The
my-
force of the blast was catastrophic. The man was thrown into the air. The explosives detonated with tremendous power, causing fatal injuries. Friends screamed and rushed to help, but it was too late.
Nah, that's their
Emergency services arrived quickly, but the man died at the scene from his injuries.
That's everyone's
Witnesses
fault.
told police it had been part of a dare. The case received widespread coverage across India. News outlets showed footage of the aftermath, warning others about the dangers of combining alcohol, fireworks, and peer pressure.
Yup.
The man's family was left to mourn a senseless death.
Bro,
His
and you got a family gang?
friends who had encouraged the dare were left traumatized and guilt-ridden.
Good.
Authorities used the incident as a warning during future Diwali celebrations. The table surfing incident.
Bro, are we serious right now, bro? Chat, when it comes to peer pressure, that's like a middle school, high school, definitely college thing because, you know, you're still not fully matured and all that. But I don't feel bad, bro. At some point in your life, once you mature and become an adult, you still getting peer pressured. All right, bro. Those who peer pressured these dummies should get arrested. Yeah, I think that should be everyone's fault. Like, what are y'all doing? No one said, yo, bro, nah, you good. Stop that. Don't do that. Like, chill out.
The table surfing incident. On June 1st, 2025, in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, 17-year-old David Nagy and his friends from Freedom High School gathered after school. They had been watching viral TikTok videos of people table surfing,
Oh
riding on
my
top of
God.
tables tied behind cars. The videos made it look thrilling and fun. The teens decided to try it themselves. They found a folding table and flipped it upside down.
Oh
They
my-
tied it behind a car with rope. David volunteered to be the rider. His friends thought it would be hilarious to film. He climbed onto the upside-down table and sat down, gripping the edges. The teenage driver got behind the wheel and started the engine.
Gripping
The
the
car began to move
edges?
slowly at first. David laughed. His friends cheered him on. Then the driver accelerated recklessly.
Oh,
The
put him in
car picked
jail.
up speed. The table bounced violently behind the vehicle,
Put him in jail.
shaking and wobbling. Suddenly, the table was flung into a parked vehicle on the side of the road.
Oh!
The impact threw David off the table with tremendous force. He hit the ground hard.
Oh!
His head struck the pavement.
Oh!
He died from catastrophic injuries.
The driver needs jail time. The driver needs to go to jail. Actual jail, bro. Oh my God, I'm actually getting so angry. How fucking retarded are you to have someone like ride on a table and speed up? You knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing. You intentionally did that, bro. You're going to jail. No. Like I'm actually so mad. I'm actually so mad, bro. And I would have called all them dumb. Like obviously, Chad, don't try this or whatever. But you don't speed up. You don't speed up. And if you were to try this, just don't be stupid. Like go to maybe in like an empty parking lot, or if you live like in a nice neighborhood, or like you know your neighborhood. Maybe go up and down that street, but you go slow, bro. You don't do that. You don't pick up speed, bro.
On the side of the road. The impact threw David off the table with tremendous force. He hit the ground hard. His head struck the pavement. He died from
Jail time for the
catastrophic
driver.
injuries. The driver slammed on the brakes. Friends screamed and called emergency services. Paramedics arrived within minutes, but there was nothing they could do. Prosecutors charged the teenage driver with involuntary manslaughter. The case drew national attention as an example of deadly TikTok dare trends.
Yup.
David
I
Nagy's
like
family
that.
spoke out about the dangers of social media challenges. Schools across Pennsylvania held assemblies warning students about table surfing and similar viral stunts. David's friends were left traumatized. What started as an attempt to
Fucking
recreate a viral
idiots,
video ended in
idiots.
tragedy.
Idiot.
The senior assassin
You
incident.
know how harmless that would have been if you had just kept it in like at maybe like 10 miles per hour, 5 or 10 miles per hour, bro. Why are you speeding? Like, why are you speeding? Literally, I'm glad he got charged with that. What an idiot, bro. Like, this is actually making me mad.
The senior assassin incident. On a day in May 2025, high school seniors in Arlington, Texas, were participating in Senior Assassin, a popular end-of-school tradition. The game involves students chasing each other with water guns, trying to eliminate opponents.
Right.
It's meant to be harmless fun, a way for graduating seniors to bond before heading to college.
That's fair.
Players track each other's locations and stage surprise attacks.
That's fair.
That afternoon, 17-year-old Isaac Leal was participating in the game with friends. They had spotted their target and began pursuit in a Jeep. The chase intensified. The vehicle accelerated through streets. The adrenaline was high. The teenagers were laughing and yelling,
Oh
caught up
my.
in the excitement of the game. As the pursuit continued, Isaac climbed onto the back of the moving Jeep.
Oh
He was
my-
trying to get a better position during the chase. Friends later said he was riding on the exterior of the vehicle. Then the Jeep hit a bump in the road. Isaac lost his grip and fell from the moving vehicle onto the street. His head hit the pavement with
Oh.
devastating force.
Oh.
The Jeep screeched to a halt. Friends jumped out, screaming. Someone called emergency services. Isaac was rushed to the hospital with catastrophic head injuries.
Oof.
For weeks, he remained in intensive care, clinging to life. Doctors did everything they could. His family kept vigil at his bedside.
Nah,
but
this
the
video was
injuries-
getting me tight. Yo, Chef Zap. This, man, this video getting me mad tight. Yo, bro, are we serious right now, bro? This is a mixture of dumbass shit. This is a mixture of like stupid decision making, bro. And drivers. What's up with y'all going fast? What are we doing, bro? And why you getting in the back of a moving Jeep, gang?
In early June 2025, after weeks in the hospital, Isaac Leal died from his injuries.
Oh, my.
Investigators confirmed the death occurred during the Senior Assassin game. The incident sparked debate about whether such games should be banned.
It's not the
Some
game.
schools across Texas immediately prohibited the tradition.
Oh my God, it's not the game. It's the dumbass driver and the dumbass kid who decided, RIP, who decided to go in the back of the Jeep, bro.
If you'd like to see more stories like this, make sure to subscribe and feel free to drop suggestions for the next video.
But this shit got me tight, bro. Chat, I ain't jacking nobody no more, bro. Like, I remember when, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you do it too? Was a rhetorical question. Oh God, bro. What kind of friends dare you to physically hurt yourself? Thank you. Every single example ended with the friends were terribly traumatized for the rest of their lives. Right. I remember being a kid reading the 8-year-old boiling water incident. That's so sad. It honestly baffles me how these kids and teens can come up with such extreme dares. Facts. I laughed at it, but it's true. Like, how did those little girls like know to come up with like drink boiling water? You know what I'm saying? When I played with my friends and family, we never even thought of stuff like that. Not only that, but me and the people I played with had enough common sense to not even attempt the things these people were dared. Exactly. No, literally. Like, and the dares for us were like, you go kiss her, or you know, lick her arm. Like, bro, like, what? Y'all doing? Anyways.